anytime, any day. Why not right now? Stop looking up to your boss and start being your own boss. Don't work for paychecks. Work for dreams with no regrets. This is Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. If you have the passion, we'll create the blueprint. Now, your host. You know him from his 7 tips to build the business you always wanted, and now you're about to hear a lot more. Jack H.M. Wong.
Welcome to another episode of Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. I have my guest, Miss Kay Sanders, who is on the show with me, and just to let you know who Kay is. Kay is actually an intuitive business coach. We'll find out what intuitive means later. She is the best-selling author, creator of possibility. What Kay does is she helps conscious entrepreneurs find that missing piece to create momentum, and the word is momentum, in their business and reignite their manifesting mojo. We'll find out what it is later. So that they can make a difference in the world, create more freedom in their life, and tap into the magic and power of manifesting their heart's desire. So thank you, Kay. And thank you for agreeing to be on my show.
No, thanks, Jack. Thanks for having me. It's definitely a pleasure being also, in Singapore. It's the first time I've talked to anyone in Singapore, so it's definitely made my day.
All right, sure. And I know from your website that you gave me that you were not born in the United States. You were actually a German to start with. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the first thing that I noticed, like from the picture that you sent me, Kay doesn't look like an American. The reason why I'm asking is that, like, I know from speaking to different people from different parts of the world, the way we react, the way we behave has a lot to do with our culture, how we were brought up. So later I will be interested in finding out a bit of your cultural shift from Germany to United States, where you have been there for quite a while, I presume. And what happened is that I would like to, first of all, touch on your story. So to find out the message that you do, Kay, I would like you to talk about your story, tell us a bit about your background and how you become who you are today.
Oh, I would love to. So like you mentioned, I am not from the United States. I am from Germany. I came to the States and to Texas in 2006. My now ex-husband, he was in the military. I met him over there. And, we decided, he actually got stationed here in Texas. So I came with him. I thought, yay, it's going to be a great life, happy family and all that stuff. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. My ex-husband, he left me and my son 2 months after we got here. Basically, I was stranded here, no family, no support, no nothing, and an ex-husband or an husband at that time that tried to destroy me, literally, and he was trying to get me deported and everything, but I was too hard-headed. I didn't go back, and I'm an entrepreneur by heart. When I was a kid, I already created stuff and drew stuff and tried to sell those things and whatever. And before I came to the States, I was I had a home business, nail technician, and I thought I can do the same thing here in the States. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I would have had to go back to school and all that stuff. So I'm like, I didn't really want to do that. But I had that deep desire. I wanted to be my own boss again. I kind of liked it. In Germany, I had my own business, had my own money and all that. So when I came here, like in Germany, they were always saying, America, the land with the unlimited opportunities. And I'm like, yes, I want to tap into that. It's just a lot harder than it seemed at first. And then I started out in network marketing, but that didn't really go so well until I stumbled over the coaching industry back in 2012. And the reason why I stumbled over that was because I was working in a PTSD treatment facility. And that's when I learned that I had a lot of my own mindset challenges from the things my ex put me through. I had depression, anxiety, PTSD, social anxiety. You name it, I had it. I was on medication, everything, but I didn't want to be labeled at that. I didn't want to be labeled as, I have mindset problems, or that I'm totally screwed up or whatever. That's when I stumbled over the coaching industry, and I was like, I fell in love with the idea. I had never experienced coaching, but I had fallen in love with the idea because I was like, what? I can use what I've learned, all the challenges I've gone through, how I turn my life around to help other people. Because there's so many people out there, they think, the way life is right now, that's just how it is. And they're totally screwed up and they can't change anything. And that's just how life is. And I wouldn't want to believe that. And I remember there was one day I had hit rock bottom. I remember I was laying on the kitchen floor and so depressed. And I'm like, is that really all there is to life? And at that moment, I made a decision that, you know what, no, I mean, there has to be more. So I really got into the whole coaching. I mean, it took me a few years because I literally did not know what I was doing until I got certified as a personal development coach. That's when I rebranded to business coaching. But then still, I did all the right things that I need to do to grow my business, market it myself, and all these things, learn about sales and all of those things that you do in your business. But nothing was working. You know, it was like teeth. And I was like really banging my head against the wall. I didn't know what was going on. And my coach at that time told me that it's not about what you're doing in your business, it's who you need to become in order to become successful.
There you go.
And that's when things really shifted for me. It took me a while to kind of realize what he meant with that. But then when it kind of sunk in, I'm like, you know what, you're right. Because at that point, I mean, I was literally doing all the right things to market myself, to market my business. I should have had so many clients and making so much money, but I didn't. And that was because internally I had all these inner gremlins that were sabotaging my success. I was, you know, getting in my own way, and, you know, my self-worth issues, the self-doubt and fears and everything was really holding me back. And then I really dove deep into the whole personal development side, the mindset stuff. And that's really when my life really totally changed. And that's really how I got to where I'm at today. And it was really because I focused on the becoming part rather than just the doing part.
That's very interesting story, because you talk about a few keywords which in the previous episode some of our guests mentioned: mindset, self-worthiness, doubt, fear. It's like, I don't care what businesses we are in, somehow these few pains or hot buttons seems to be the common thing. So I would like to ask you to elaborate further. So to me, first of all, you talk about the mindset. You make the decision when you lay on the kitchen. You ask yourself, like, is my life going to be that way, or whether there will be a change, and you make the decision. So whenever a guest share with us that I make the decision, so I'm very interested in that point. Like, how did you feel when you were lying on the kitchen? How did you feel when you make the decision to decide to change your life?
It was very empowering. I mean, I had no idea how I was supposed to make it happen. And there were days that I really don't know how I made it through those days. And there were many times when I almost gave up on my business. But that day when I was like, you know, I'm not going to let my situation rule my life. My thing was, you know, I wanted to give my son a good life. I mean, he has gone through hell because of my ex-husband, because of his dad. And I could not live like that. I mean, I was always a fighter. So when I made that decision that, you know what, there has to be more to life, it was very empowering. Like I said, I had no clue what direction to go into, what I should do or nothing. I mean, that's when I was doing a lot of, you know, training and figuring out things and, you know, reinventing the wheel, unfortunately. But every time when I come up at a barrier, and every time I have to make the decision to not give up, to keep moving forward, and every time when I do, I feel empowered. And every time when I look back at, you know, all the things that I have accomplished since then, it's really mind blowing. I would have never, you know, imagined that I would have done the things that I really did over the last, 12 years. But it was really my drive to wanting to make a difference in other people's lives. That's really what kept me going, wanting to make a difference in my son's life. That's what kept me going. And also finding my own purpose, because when I was working at my jobs, when I was in it or trying to do the whole network marketing thing, it was not my purpose. I was not able to make that big difference that I wanted to make until I really found out about the coaching and, you know, incorporating everything that I have learned. And now I'm finally on track with my purpose, that I now do get to make that huge difference in the world, you know, helping people out and stuff. So that was really what kept me going, because I mean, every day you have to make a choice to either continue moving forward, even though it's hard, or to say, you know what, it's not working, I'm just going to give up. So, you know, I think every time when you make the decision, it's an empowering feeling, because you basically stand up for yourself and for your dreams and for what you want to create in your life.
Thank you for sharing, because what I hear again is a few keywords, which is very common for successful entrepreneurs like UK. It's like, do I let my life take over me, or I control my life by making the informed choices? That's one thing that I heard from you. The other thing that you said was about, if I know my why. I actually do not know how to get there, but the feeling is so strong that allows me to find resources to make that move that I need to, heading towards that goal. So that is why I always tell the group, the listeners here, that successful entrepreneurs may not know exactly how to do that, but what they have is really their purpose. Like each of us has, of course, our different purposes, but so long as our purpose is strong, we know that is the direction we're heading. To figure out the how is pretty easy. And yet, unfortunately, people who have not been to coaching, who have not been mentored by people, they are always stuck in the mind and say, I must figure out my how first before I know where I'm going, which you and I kind of know that it should be the other way.
Yes, you have to have that vision. I mean, it's the same if you want to go on a road trip. You know where you want to go. You don't just get in the car and just drive blindly. You know, like, oh, I've just figured out as I go along. I mean, you have that destination where you want to go to. And it's the same with your business. I mean, I always tell my client, like, what would your perfect life and perfect day look like, you know, around your business? Because you want to design your business around the lifestyle that you want to have. You want to go by, how do you want your life to look like? What is your perfect day going to look like? Do you want to work 16 hours or do you just want to work? I mean, I don't believe in the whole 4-hour work week. I mean, that's a little too little. But you know, how does your life look like? How do you want it to look like? So that is your vision for your life. And then you just keep moving forward. Of course, you're not going to get there within the first year unless you're really, really lucky. But at least you have that destination in front of you. You know, you have that clear vision of where you want to go. And then you just got to keep going. And one other thing is, you know, I always hear, and, you know, I always tell my clients as well, don't focus on the how. Because when you focus on the how, you're going against the stream, against the flow. So just focus on your goal and the how will show up. But oftentimes it's like, you know, I got to figure this out. I got to figure out how to do this. And for me, you know, I'm German. I like my processes. I like my step by step. I got to know how to do something.
Yes.
And this whole focusing on the vision and just letting the how show up is very difficult for Germans.
That's my question about the Germans. My experience working with Germans, because Germans is the most disciplined people in the world. From my perspective, it's like German actually follow a set of rules and they cannot deviate. I mean, that's my experience. So when you share with me that you have got to find out why you cannot just look at it step by step, it's like, this is very counterintuitive for a German to say that. So I find it very amazing for you.
Challenging.
Yeah, very amazing to find out, like, when you label yourself as an intuitive business coach. Okay, that sounds great. When I check your background, where you were born, wow, Germany, intuitive business coach.
Well, you know, the thing is, I kind of got hit in the head about it a little over a year ago when I found out that I'm an empath. And I'm like, I'm a what?
What?
No clue what that meant. You know, it just totally freaked me out because everything's starting to make sense and everything, like all the puzzle pieces just kind of like fall in place. But it's like I'm very in tune now with my intuitive side. So I just know certain things. But even though sometimes it is very, very difficult to just trust in the message I received, the intuitive guidance that I received, because, you know, like I said, I am German. And initially it was like the surrendering part, you know, because when you're into that whole law of attraction and the spiritual side, they always say you got to surrender your wishes to the universe.
Yes.
And I'm like, how in the heck am I supposed to do that?
And the word is how.
Exactly. So, I mean, this was really the most difficult part of everything, was surrendering, letting go of what I want. Because I'm like, well, I'm here on my own. I don't have no support. You know, I've been having to support me and my son for the entire time. How can I just let it go to the universe and let the universe just take care of it? I mean, how is that supposed to happen?
Yes.
So that was really the biggest challenge that I had, because I like my system, strategies, process. I need to know step by step. Give me a step-by-step process. I figured it out.
Yes.
But the whole letting go, it was very, very difficult. I mean, I've been working a lot on my spiritual side, you know, getting in tune with myself and just doing my angels and getting that guidance. And even sometimes I still go against that. And I'm like, am I ever going to figure this out? But I've gotten a lot better. But there's still that tiny little, you know, I got to hold on to that. You know, I got to stay in control. So that is really, it can be very challenging at times.
Well, since you have not spoken with any Singaporean based on what we said before the interview, I'll just let you know that, well, you are not alone. Let me give you the good news here, because it's not just Germans who have this issue or challenge. like people who are predominantly left-brained, like myself, so I can perfectly relate to what you said, because I also wanted the step-by-step process. So when a coach told me you've got to trust the process, you've got to change your mindset, you've got to give yourself permission, it's like all these words to me is like, what is that? It's so abstract to me. I have no clue what it means actually. And you sum up very nicely that it takes a very, 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 and the word is very long time for me to finally get myself attuned to that. Okay, just remember these 3 words. Trust the process. I don't know what process it is, just trust the process. And I recall when I started this coaching thing or consulting business, I have a few epiphany whereby I just do something and I can see the paradigm shift of the person's mind, body, and soul. Like the left brain to me says, got to find out the system that enables me to do that. But at some point later, I said, okay, just keep up. Don't question what I have done. Don't ask what I have done. My goal is, as long as I have done it and the person is happy, his life has changed, just say, good, you have done a good job. And that's how I learned the trust the process thing. Like some of my coaches ask me the same question. So, Jack, how do you do that? Say, don't ask me how. And I cannot even explain to you what I did. So just trust the process. So I'm educating my coaches the same thing. So I'm with you. It's not easy. I just let go of asking the how.
Yeah.
It's very,
you kind of have to.
Yes. So yes, the good news and the bad news is that the bad news is that if you don't know how, you will still want to find out the how. But the good news is that you don't need to how and you can do something magical. That is the key.
Exactly.
So I want to talk about the mindset because you mentioned like the mindset is so important. Like to you, what is the key essential ingredients for someone to be successful? Is that just a change of the mindset?
I mean, mindset is like everything. Mindset is attached to everything that you're doing in business, in life. I mean, if you have that self-worth issue or fear of success or, fear, like the self-doubt, not feeling good enough, it's going to show up in everything that you're doing. So if you're trying to attract clients, if you're trying to make money, it's going to show up. It's going to put that barrier up and you're not going to do anything. You're not going to manifest anything. I mean, it really starts out with, that's like the 5 steps that I always teach my clients. It starts out with, first of all, seeing and being open to the possibilities.
Okay.
Like ask yourself, what would you do if you know you could not fail? That's your possibilities right there. Because oftentimes we go through life, with the blinders on, like even in our business, like this is all we can do. But I mean, nowadays with the internet, I'm talking to someone in Singapore. I mean, that's a possibility right there.
Yes.
I'm becoming known all over the earth, the world basically.
Yep.
So, the possibilities are literally unlimited. They're infinite possibilities, but you got to see those possibilities. You got to be open to those possibilities. And then you got to be open to receiving those possibilities. So that is really the first step. And then you want to ask yourself, so if you know what you would do if you know you could not fail, that is basically your destination where you want to be. But you're here. So you gotta decide. The next step is like finding out what is holding you back. What are your inner gremlins? Really uncovering those inner gremlins. And that's like your mindset blocks, your limiting beliefs, the self-doubt, the programming that you had from when you were growing up about your money story, for example. So everything, that you picked up from society, from family, from friends, from your own experience, that right there, that's your inner gremlins that usually run the show, that sabotage your success. But it's all basically just lies and illusions that you live by to keep yourself safe, because your ego does not like change. Your ego does not like possibilities because it's uncomfortable. So you really got to figure out, what is holding you back. So if you want to be here, but you are like 10 steps behind that, you got to figure out between what is holding you back. That's your inner gremlins. So it goes back to what my coach had told me about becoming who you need to become in order to become successful. So if you want to be a 6-figure income earner or 6-figure a month income earner, but you're not yet, that means you're not that person yet that allows that kind of money. So you want to kind of check in with yourself. How do I feel about money? What's holding me back? Why am I not able to create that kind of income for myself? So that's your inner gremlins. That's step number 2, is finding out what your inner gremlins are. Step number 3 is getting rid of your inner gremlins. Doing different modalities that can help you get rid of your inner gremlins. You want to get them out, give them the eviction notice, get the heck out. I don't want you no more. And, really do whatever you can to really free yourself from that, because those enneagrams are going to keep showing up. If you don't let go of them, and for the mindset stuff, I always tell people that it is messy. So spoiler alert here, mindset work is really messy because you got to dig deep. I mean, I usually don't like to dwell on the past, but when it comes to the mindset work, to really uncovering what's holding you back, I usually tell people dig as deep as you can. Go all the way back from when you were born and really write down everything that you can think of that still holds a negative charge. And in step 3, one of the things that I like to do is EFT. Great technique to get rid of those inner gremlins. And then, affirmation. I mean, there's so many different modalities out there that can help you get rid of your inner gremlins. Doing a negativity journal to see how much bad stuff do you have on your mind all day long. I mean, if you would really consciously pay attention to yourself, what you say all day long, you probably wouldn't want to listen to yourself no more. Because usually we're very hard on ourselves. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. Duh. Those type of things. I mean, you're in the moment and it's not really, you don't think of it as bad. But if you pile that up, if you add that stuff up throughout the entire day, I mean, how much time of the day do you actually talk down on yourself? So if you have that negativity journal, great way to just kind of check in with yourself, to consciously pay attention to what do you say about yourself? What do you think? How do you feel? What do you tell other people about you? What do you just, have in your mind going on all day long? How do you react to certain things? Or what actions do you take out of, fear? Or what inactions do you take out of fear or, overwhelm or whatever? And then you want to turn it around and turn those into positive affirmations. So for example, if you say, oh my God, I'm never going to make money, you can say, I'm open to all sources of financial abundance.
That's true.
Sounds so much better, right?
Yep.
So you can do that. And that's one of the things you really want to, focus on, getting rid of those inner gremlins. And then step 4 is create that dream life of yourself, really for yourself. Really get clear on what does your perfect life look like? What does your dream day look like? Get clear on that. Now that you got rid of your inner gremlins, because now you can stretch your dream life because now you don't have those inner gremlins no more. So you can dream even bigger. And then the 5th step is making it happen, having really daily activities, daily routines in place that helps you stay on track, that keeps you in a positive mood. Gratitude is a great way to, stay in that uplifted mood and really keep moving forward, because your inner gremlins, they're going to try to come back because you were their home for a very, very long time. So depending on your age, they were with you for a very, very long time. So they're going to try to come back. But if you have those daily activities, in your day, like meditation, affirmations. I mean, I have so many things that I do throughout the day just to keep my monkey mind at bay, because, it's always going to come up. But that's really the 5 steps that I always teach my clients. Is that's what will help you get that mindset of success, the success mindset, to help you really in your business, to keep moving forward, to take your business to the next level. And I mean, you do need to work on your mindset, or otherwise you're really going to be struggling.
Yeah, this 5-step process does not just apply to business owners. It actually applies to whatever we do in life. For example, like you and I talk about the fact that you are actually helping a lot of coaches to scale the business. Can you imagine, for coaches, the number 1 issue is how to get clients. And then number 2 is like you were there before, is like, how do I generate the sales? This is not just a question for coaches. Like business owners have the same issue. How do I acquire clients? How do I actually get more leads? How do I actually get more sales? Many times in my group, I experienced the issue about people not getting what they want in sales is because it's not about the selling techniques they learned, or it's not about the books they have read. It's all about the mindset. It's all about the internal fear. It's like, I do sales, but I don't like sales. It's like, okay, sounds interesting. I do sales, but I don't like sales. Then why do you do sales? The other one is that I like to help people, like coaches. This is like a lot of nurturing coaches in my group facing. I found the mission of helping a lot of people. And you know what? Now that the clients are very, very happy with what I've done, the clients are now handing me the money. And the coach's reaction is like, yes, I've done the good work, but I don't need the money. I will say, what? You don't want the money when you have done something? Is like, I couldn't understand. Like in your case, do you experience similar things when you work with your clients?
Yes, I mean, it's the relationship they have with money, because, I mean, if you get to do something that you love, how can you get paid for that? Yeah. That's oftentimes what people think. Or also, one case that I had was I had talked to a lady who was doing, she was like some kind of like therapist, coach for 10 years. She was doing that for a different company. And then she was trying to go into her own business doing the exact same thing. And she was like, I'm not good enough. I'm like, you've been doing it for 10 years. But it's one thing to promote a different company and take money from that way, but it's a whole other thing like promoting yourself. That goes back to, well, I'm just starting out and oh my God, I can't ask for money. And, oftentimes it's like asking for the money. A lot of people, they feel very disempowered by that. I don't want to come across as just another salesperson. I don't want to be sleazy. How can I ask for money for what I like to do? And what if they can't afford it? So it's all that internal stuff is going on, and it really goes back to the self-worth. And someone told me once, your self-worth equals your net worth.
Yes.
So if you don't make money, that means you don't think you're good enough to actually ask for money to get paid. And, I often see it in the sales conversation. I mean, for one thing that really shifted my mind about the sales conversation was sales equals service. You're providing a service. You're not making a sale. And I really also don't like the word closing because it sounds so dirty in a way.
All right. Sure.
But I like to say, I like to inspire people. I like to inspire people to work with me, to see the vision, to see the transformation I can bring them or that I can help them achieve. So just shifting the words around, because oftentimes it's really like when you hear about the word closing, it's just people, they're like, ooh, that just doesn't sound great. But if you use a different word that makes it more, easier, it's like, inspiring people to work with you is a different shift. And there's a different vibration.
Right.
But it's really just the mindset around, am I really good enough? Can I really charge money for it? Can I even charge money for what I love? I just want to help people. How can I ask money for that? And so it really goes back to the mindset that you got to value yourself. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if you go to the doctor and the doctor is just barely out of school, do you think he's going to discount his services? No, he's not. Because he knows he's an expert.
Yeah.
But with coaches, I think their desire is really just to make a difference in the world. They want to help people. They want to make a difference. And it's just the connection to the money part. It's just they can't connect with that. And like I said, it really goes back to self-worth issue. And so, yeah, really it goes back to the whole mindset.
So I always would like to end the episode with 2 questions. The second last question basically is that I always ask my guest to give me his or her number 1 quote so that can be shared with my audiences. So Kay gave me this one. Your message is meant to be heard. Don't hide your gifts, your message, or yourself behind the illusions that your message is not worth sharing. So Kay, why this quote? How does it apply to you, your life, and your business?
Well, that's actually one of the quotes that I've written in my book, 365 Messages of Inspiration.
Wow.
So that quote came out. I mean, it really stood out for me because so many people, they're afraid to share their message. But when you share your message, people get to connect with you. Like, I have no problem sharing my deep message where, the struggles, because as entrepreneurs, you don't just get to the top right away. You have a lot of bad stuff, pit and break, bad stuff that you need to go through. And I think if we share that with our audience, they can resonate with you, because for me, I want to be able to connect with those beginner coaches within the first few years of business. So if I just talk about, I'm a best-selling author, I've created an online course, I've been on these shows and yada, 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 success, they can't connect with that because they don't know all the bad stuff that I had to go through to get there. So by me sharing how many times I was so close on giving up, or the struggles that I had, the self-doubt that I had, it allows them to connect to me. So then they know, what, she gets me. She knows exactly what I'm going through because she's been there. So share your message. I mean, even though you may have never gone through really, really bad times, your message is still meant to be heard because someone is out there that needs to hear your message because maybe they are going through what you have gone through. And your message is so powerful. And I mean, if you can just inspire one person with your message,
that's good.
That's how I feel about it. And that's why this message really stood out to me, because so many people, they don't share the message because they don't think it's powerful enough. But I'm here to tell you that your story is very powerful. You just got to share it.
Just trust the process, that your message is powerful and it will be heard by someone, and that will create a change later on. You may not know when, you may not know how, but that's okay. And the other part of this quote when you share with me how this quote is important to you, there's something coming to my mind. So I just give my other half of that story about this message. It's like another coach of mine said to me one day that, Jack, for those people who keep the message within, thinking that they are not good enough to be shared with other people, it's actually a selfish act.
Yep.
Do you want to be a selfish guy? Hiding your message, not letting it spread out? Or you want to selflessly spread this message so you can expect good things coming back? Because we said in the coaching is the more we give, the more we can get back. So that is what I'm thinking when I'm hearing your explanation. So thank you for sharing with us this powerful message. So the last question. You just mentioned that you have a book. So where can we find out more about this book? And where can we find more about what you do? Is there a website or social media platform that we can find out more about you?
Yes. So my book is called Messages of Inspiration, and the website is already up because I also have those 365 quotes also as an email format where you get one email a day with an accompanying action step. Because it's one thing when you read an inspirational quote, but then you don't do nothing with it. So I included also an action step with it, so you actually take action with the quote. So that's also on messagesofinspiration.com. As far as myself, like my website, you can find out more about me. You can join me in my Facebook group. It's called the Conscious Entrepreneur Lounge. So that's for the conscious entrepreneur, the one that really knows that there's more out there, that might be a little bit interested in the whole spiritual side, the woo-woo side. Come join me in my Facebook group. We're definitely going to have a lot of fun in there. And I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, and now I'm recently also on Instagram. So yay, all over the place.
Okay, so thank you, Kay, for really sharing with us your experience in your story and your insight about how to help more people by inspiring them. I get from this interview, selling is inspiration, selling is service. So thank you for these wonderful tips. Let's conclude another episode of Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. I hope you enjoy it. And of course, we are going to bring on another successful entrepreneur who is going to share with you his or her wisdom, intelligence, and of course experience to help you take your business to the next level. Until we next meet, I'm your host Jack Wong, and thank you, Kay, once again. And we are signing off now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
To continue cracking the entrepreneur code, subscribe for more episodes and download the Amazon bestseller, Cracking the Entrepreneur Code, 7 Tips to Build the Business You Always Wanted at crackingentrepreneur.com. Learn more about author and host Jack H.M. Wong and book your 30-minute discovery session to overcome any professional challenge at jackhmwong.com/apply.